So let's see if we can haul some achievements. Tell energies to master to head back to fun. Restart from chapter. So I assume that if we do this, then obviously the checkpoint that I have reached now with the final boss, then that will of course be overridden. I'm gonna keep a guide up to see what makes the most sense in what order. I also want to go back to, was it chapter 5 where we had to do that chemical puzzle thing? Again, I totally could have gotten that trophy on my first run if I hadn't just randomly put the herbs together. I mean, when I randomly put them together and received this bowl of powder or whatever it was, I mean, I know it said on the description that this is a failed experiment, but since I did get an item out of it, I was like, did I do something right? Also not entirely sure where the last file or files were supposed to be. But let's go for the hidden boss first. Restart from chapter, yes, I'm sure. Should come with a warning saying this will overwrite your current save.
We should get going. We have everything we need.
Okay. Where to now?
We need to get back to the circle. I need to prepare the ritual.
Okay. But can you slow down a bit? That fight took a lot out of me.
Sorry. I just want to get out of this place. We can save Kim. Maybe we can even save the others.
Save the others? The 3 of us are alive, Hannah. Let's just focus on Kim and get out of this place.
She'll be fine. It's almost over.
That skip function definitely could have been
Am I being difficult?
faster.
I'm not being difficult. I never do anything to upset you.
No quick turn? I think I've played too much Resident Evil.
Yourself out, Hannah. You have to trust the process. You have to trust him.
And I have to fight that thing. Can I cheese the boss? I mean, not cheese the boss, but can I perhaps... I mean, it's a pretty big area, so maybe I can collect the rest of the key without fighting it? Wait a minute, why am I even collecting these? I mean, I just have to run through the field and get up on that other platform. Oh, I mean, no, I can't do that. Okay, I need to get over there, so I can't do that. I don't think I even have enough to... Well, maybe I can. was the last one? Have I been down here? It wasn't here. That was the last one. There was one up there, one down, one down there. There should have been one in here. But did I? I'm an idiot. I already collected it. Dumbass. You know, come to think of it, that letter she sends to herself in the beginning of the game, does that never comes into play ever again? I mean, judging by the endings that I spoiled for myself, in none of the endings does it come into play again. Maybe it's for a sequel some way down the line. Okay, so according to my stats, and the stats are what determines what ending you get, I have definitely most experience in mind. If I want the body ending, for example, which is the one where she gets home and the fly entity, the invincible fly entity keeps stalking her, then I'll have to get at least I'll have to never again use the lavender and get much more in body. Can I even do that in this playthrough, or have I already locked myself into that ending? Let's see. I had 80, right? So if I give myself more here, does that... Stop that. Does that affect anything? That did absolutely nothing. We got the self-help trophy. After all that required was for us to maximize one of the 3 skill trees of mind, body, or spirit. It didn't require any of the in-between ones. Should we give something to one of the others just for the heck of it? Maybe increase spirit meter. Oh right, I can't do that. It's the... I thought I had yet to unlock the middle one. So I need one more to unlock the last one. Stop that, for fuck's sake. I didn't push the button. But still, it did nothing. If I use a ginger healing herb though, it went up by 1. I doubt that I can find enough herbs to get it over 93.
Be lonely all the time. Jess and Kim have each other. Who do I have? I can make it like it used to be. I can bring everyone back. Save them all. They'll all love me. I won't have to be alone. Maybe Jess will be my friend. Maybe she won't ditch me, like all the others.
I thought we were already friends. Alright, I never did find a way in there. You know, I actually got hold of is maybe a strong term, but I reached out to the developer on oh crap, is the fly thing after me again? I don't believe I ever turned this corner. No, but I reached out to the developer on Twitter, and you know, as I always do when there is something I like, I praised their game, saying, I just got done. I just got done playing this game, and I absolutely loved it. Yada yada yada. How much you know, with the limited available space you have on in a single tweet. And they actually responded to me saying, we are glad that you had a good time with the game, and we hope you. And then they jokingly added, and we hope you made it safely off the island. I mean, I hope they would respond, because smaller developers often do, you know, again, just like how they, the credits ended with "thank you for playing," which you don't often see in most AAA games, because, you know, they expect you to buy the game, they expect to get your money, because they know you will buy the game. But smaller developers like this, they're just happy if anyone will pick it up and play it. So they often include a, "Hey dude, thank you for taking your time," and by extension, they also let's just say there is a bigger chance that they will respond to you if you come with words of praise. Again, I didn't, you know, I hoped, but I didn't expect it. If they hadn't responded, I would have probably been like, "Oh, they're just busy." But you know, when you do get a response back, you you kind of feel not important, but you feel like, "Oh, senpai noticed me." What was in here? That's it. That's how I got back from the mines, if I'm not mistaken. And the secret boss down this path. I mean, I should have known, because as the saying goes, and I see that the game developers as such have read up on their Gaming 101, there are just some rules that you have to abide by in any game, is that there's always something behind a waterfall. Always. And if there ain't, it ain't a video game. I'm kidding. Got him. Now where's my trophy? What the hell is that? Oh, is that the last note I'm missing? Okay, it's not the last. The celebrants disrobe and drink the sacred tea, chanting first mind, then body, then spirit. The celebrants are purified bodily, spiritually, sexually. Insert crystals, don masks. Oh, Aren't you a bit slow on the uptake? That was the... I know you can... I don't think you can see it on stream, at least not when I stream directly from my PlayStation, but that was the trophy coming up. Where was I? Submitting to the cosmic unity. The 4 poses of prayerful ascension, vows of transcendence, purity, liberation, celebrants rise, pass through the congregation for bodily blessings, symbolic consummation, body, mind, spirit, remove masks, free association encouraged. You know, all those words ending in Chant reminds me of, we have the original cult diagram thing. It reminds me of the original American release of Dragon Ball GT on DVD and VHS, where every volume would have a word ending with, you know, with Chant, you know, T-I-O-N, like ascension, liberation, purification. I honestly thought that was kind of cool. What the hell is this? Almost wish you could go into first-person perspective. You know, the funny thing is with stunning enemies, you know, the panic counter and shoving enemies. In the beginning, in the very beginning, they teach you how to shove enemies. I completely forgot how to do that. Still 81. So apparently my upgrades indeed do nothing. Nope. How did I get one more point in mind? You know, if I want to try for the mind ending, maybe I should just go on a scavenger hunt, see if the herbs grow back in the various areas, because now we have gotten the secret boss.
I should be grateful.
Actually kind of a lame boss. I mean, the secret boss really should have been, you know, that immortal creature that that we found late in the game, where we just had to run away from it. Encountering that beast, but in a state where it was now vulnerable. That should have been the final boss. Well, not the final boss, the secret boss, because that, just another toad. I've fought plenty of those. But no, fighting that thing and getting the skill tree trophy. Now all that remains, I mean, aside from the aside from the ending trophies, all I'm missing is the lore pickups. Okay, stop that, Jess. Again, it's the slightest tap on the shoulder buttons. I'm not doing it deliberately. It's because I'm resting my fingers on the shoulder buttons, but just a slight tap, not even a press of the button. Like, if only you could. I mean, you could see it but I'm not even pushing the button to make her do that. I'm ever so slightly, to repeat myself, tapping the button. Annoying as hell. Anyway, let's see. Our research. What do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so I've actually picked up 60 pieces of research, so what is this lore pickup thing? Don't I have the historian trophy? Uno momento, guys. I have to check something out. I'm pretty sure I got historian now that I think about it. Yeah. I do have historian, but then what is this one in between? Oh, that's the alchemist one. Okay, so I'm not sure if I do have all of the lore pickups, but I do have enough to. I mean, I have gotten all of the lore related trophies. This one that I'm looking at now is for the alchemist puzzle. Then there is, of course, beating the game on a higher difficulty. Oh, there is a lore pickup. There is one for picking up all the notes. Why is that one separated? And I only got. I only went from 95 to 96 by that one pickup. So apparently there are maybe 4 pieces left. And this is for the endings. Complete the game in 4 hours or less. Complete the game without killing any cultists. I think I'll be doing that at the same time as the speedrun one. So what I can do right now is try to find the missing lore pieces, and if I can find Ginger enough to raise my stat above my body experience stat above mind, then I can also go for that ending. But otherwise, I'll have to jump to chapter 5, I believe, in order to get the alchemist trophy, and then start an all new file to get both the heart difficulty 1 and the speed run and no kill 1. So let's hunt for some ginger and see if we find some lore pickups while we're at it. That was the road to the teleportation wormhole.
Of course it needs power.
What was that scream for? Is it because she stepped on glass? Oh crap. You're still here? Fuck off. either. I guess the mines are completely out of bounds then. Fuck off, fuck off. Wonder how far she'll chase me for. Or it will, rather. Completely blocked off as well.
everyone listening to you. Everyone doing what you tell them. Not a fraud. This is real. It's really real.
Is that thing still here? Wait, I never unlocked this door before? I've definitely never been here before. Huh. Yeah, of course it's locked. We have just enough for... But will that screw me over? Well, it's not like it's not like I need to upgrade anything anyway, so... Oh, why not spirit meter? Oh crap. Some lavender. But no notes. So all that was really here was, I say all, but you know, if it wasn't for the fact that I am at the end game, it is pretty cool to, you know, discover a new area with more resources and more crystals for upgrading your powers. have to go the other way around. Oh crap. Shoot. Get lost, asshole. In commune, I already came from that way. Can't go in there.
Jess, you made it. Jess, are you sure you want to do this? Once we start, there's no turning back.
Maybe give me a bit, just to get my bearings.
Okay, but just a few minutes. We can't put it off for long or it'll be too late.
Damn. I can't just vault over it. Well, considering that certain places are completely blocked off to me at this point in the game, maybe I can't get all the files in this playthrough. Let's see if there's anything back from the way we originally came. That's locked as well. was actually never back here after everything went to shit. Oh, another hole. Does that crystal prevent my meter from going down? Who who wore my clothes? Who took my clothes when I wasn't watching? They weren't this bloody before.
Jess, just give up. Everyone blames you, Jess. Everyone knows.
whole gameplay gimmick of just not liking dark places also went completely away as soon as we got the flashlight. Plus, when you defeat Kim as the quote-unquote first boss, where you are instructed to push her head into 3 candles and a mirror in order to vanquish the possession. That's also never brought up again. I mean, I guess it would be kinda formulaic if you handled all bosses the same way, but you know, gotta love it when something is introduced and then not really used more than once. Can't go in there, huh? Right, I think I came from this path.
You were never trying to help me. Never. It was always about you.
And that puts us back at the lighthouse.
Jess. And we're together.
Ah, sealed off as well. I think I'll just head back to wrong way. But I'll just head back to the ritual site. Did the game save when I talked to Hannah just before? I think I'll go this way. I can't. That's right, there was a drop-off point. But I can do something else. Just because I don't want to go through the whole boathouse section again. So that's the thing though, what way goes which way? Fortunately, going through these pathways doesn't drain our mind. I'm gonna fathom a guess that blue takes us back to the camp. I was right. Okay, so I guess I have explored everything that I can explore at this point in the game.
You done? Can we start?
Sure.
I'm ready, Hannah.
Right. Good. I'm ready too.
Hannah, please! Stop this!
No! I won't let them go!
You can't bring them back, Hannah! They're not real!
Sonny, she wants to leave us! Stop her!
I know you. Game is trapped, right? Why do I hate you? Yes, you'll be trapped here forever. Come to me, Jess. You'll be lost and forgotten, Jess. Lost and forgotten. I will eat your...
Shit. Where did she go? Hannah? Hannah, where are you?
Jess, please let me do this!
Damn, girl.
Jess wants to hold your beautiful children!
Don't you want to hold my baby?
Let me take care of you, Jess.
Peekaboo.
Why did you try to convince me Saber wasn't real?
I have so many children here.
You guys are crazy!
I told you there was more to this than spiritual woo. I have a good heart.
Jess, please. Stop her.
So I have 87 points in in body experience right now. You know, it isn't that important to get the other endings in this playthrough. I mean, I could just get them in the other playthroughs instead, but if I can, then let's see. I would have to eat 9 pieces of ginger additionally. I don't think I can do that. I don't think I can meet that requirement. it looks like a real party, alright. Okay, now I have equal body and mind.
Time for you to know what it feels like.
You're not strong enough to survive, Jess. Did you mean?
There we go.
Jess. It's me.
I never got the whole "it's me"
You did it.
remark. I mean, it's me, that could be anyone.
I killed Angie.
The body ending.
Be in peace, Angie.
Calm waters. Evil never truly dies. Be in peace, Angie. Yep. But you sure aren't. Right. So in that playthrough we got, what was it? 3 trophies? One for the secret boss, one for the skill tree, and one for the additional ending. I could go back to chapter 5 and quickly do the alchemist thing, but I don't know if you know this kind of feeling, but my first playthrough of something, or rather my first file, is kinda sacred to me, kinda what's the word? It's kinda not nostalgic, that's not the word, sentimental. I don't even know if that's the right word I would use, but it's the one I was looking for. I'm kinda like, but it's my first save file, it's a piece of my gaming history now. So I don't want to mess too much with it. I know that I just messed a little with it, because if that was true, then I should have just left it alone after yesterday. But I mean, if I'm gonna replay the game at least 2 more times anyway, one for the speedrun and one for the speedrun and pacifist, and one for the hard mode, then I'm gonna pass that puzzle anyway. And speaking of which, I might as well do the hard mode first to get myself, I was about to say, more familiar with the game. It's not like it's, now that I know what I have to do. I mean, the whole game is kinda one track forward. All you I mean, the reason the reason any playthrough takes you so long the first time is because you like to look around, explore, appreciate this world that the developers have created. But the second time around, and I mean, not to say that it gets less magical, because there are many games that even if you have played them to death, you still like to stop up and gawk at the environment, like, wow, oi, nai. But it's just saying that your first playthrough is always your slowest, if you're like me, because it's the one where you tiptoe around, or not tiptoe around, but you want to take it all in, and then on subsequent playthroughs, I mean, any game is quick if you just run past it all. I mean, I'll never forget, I played Project Zero 2, Crimson Butterfly, at one point, and I wanted to. That game doesn't have trophies, because it was made before trophies were a thing. But But if you speedrunned that game, the game would award you with an in-game item, a lens for your camera. Remember those? Remember those times when the game itself rewarded you for doing something instead of it just being a trophy. I mean, what is the last game you played where beating the game a certain way actually rewarded you in and of itself? I mean, the only one I can think of is the Resident Evil 2 remake. Then, on the other hand, maybe I just don't play that many games. Maybe you guys immediately have several examples, but that game, when I that game is easy enough to beat in under, what was it, 2 or 3 hours? I don't even remember how long it was. If you just run past everything and don't read any of the files. And you know, in that game, yes, there are cutscenes, but like in this game, you get most of the story from reading files. And when you skip all of that, you essentially, in my opinion, skip 60 or maybe even 70% of the game. So, and I imagine it's the same thing in this game. I could totally beat it in under 4 hours. After all, my first playthrough, this one where I was reading everything and was stopping up to look at everything, that was only that was a bit over 9 hours. And so when I go through it again, maybe I could do it in half that time. Can't we look at the stats from here? Maybe not. Doesn't have Danish. So I imagine it ain't that difficult to speedrun. But while I want to spend the easy mode difficulty trying to also get pacifist, because if I play hard mode and then find myself in over my head, I may have to, step out of line and have to defend myself, which takes time, of course. So I think first a playthrough on hard mode, attempting to also speedrun, and then if the speedrun part doesn't flow, then beat it on easy mode, where I imagine that a pacifist run will be easier. But first, I kind of want to try it. Can I do that? Could I? I want to try something. We have 83 in spirit experience. If we can cram that up to 96.
You're weak.
think we can. I think we are too low. It's okay. It's okay if I heal myself, as long as I don't get that 88 too far.
Not strong enough. strong enough to survive, Jess. You're weak.
Room will make you feel better.
92. I don't think I'll make it.
I'll make you feel how I felt. We can work together.
Wait, is she bringing them back?
Time for you to know what it feels like.
I suppose that was for a bird. Bonding with others.
Deserve only pain.
Well, if that is the case, is he the only one left? then my plant kind of falls flat on its face. Really? No more mushrooms left? Just one? Well, I have equally as much spirit now as I have mind, so I guess we'll see what trumps what. Probably mind. I tried though.
Jess, it's me. You did it. It's gone. It's all gone.
I killed Angie.
Hey, wake up.
We got it.
Okay?
I think so. What happened?
That tea didn't sit well with you.
Thank God. Oh, thank God. Kim, how long have I been out?
Kim? Oh, it's about to start.
You, little rabbit. Prepare yourself. Tonight, we are one with the universe.
And that's the ending where oh, sorry. The trophy for this ending is called Shh. But yeah, that's the ending where she thinks that she wakes up and the whole thing was just an illusion. But instead, somehow she wakes up right before the original ritual with the original founder commences. You know, Tyler, the long-haired Jesus guy that we met, he was the grandson of the original cultist leader, the guy whom we fought in the dome behind the barn, where we met him in front of the original cultist altar, where he was I don't know if he was supposed to be old, but he was definitely he was ghoulish to say the least. Like his whole body has been mummified or something like that. And then when he sucks all the youth out of his grandson Tyler, he becomes young again. But again, like I touched upon yesterday when I just went on YouTube and spoiled the endings for myself and then synopsis of what happened. Um, I mentioned that while the first ending where Jess and Kim escape from the island by boat, but then get caught up, or it ends right before they get caught up in a maelstrom, and I'm like, oh come on, couldn't you just give them this one? Couldn't you just let them get away in this ending? But then I talked about how I like the second and third ending. I like the ending where Jess gets back home. She's out running and she looks down at the river, saying, "Rest in peace, Angie." And then we see that the fly entity is still following her, proving that yes, she has gone back home and everything is how it used to, but evil never dies. And this fly entity that is as how I interpreted it was that this fly entity is the manifestation of not the dead sister's hatred, but her own self-doubt and guilt towards herself, because every time you encounter this creature throughout the game, you hear what I think was supposed to be the sister's dialogue, and then we have the last ending here, where I don't know if it's supposed to imply that that Jess originates from the cult founder's timeline, and then maybe she either got reincarnated. No, that wouldn't make any sense. We saw that she wakes up after drinking the tea, and this lady says that tea really didn't sit well with you. So in that ending, I suppose it's trying to say that she got knocked out by the tea and then hallucinated an entirely different life altogether. A life where she dreamt that she was on the same island, but in a totally different time period. And I don't know, there is something mindfuckery about that ending that I really like. So you know, if I was to rewrite this, not that it's bad in and of itself, but if I was to piece it all together, I would go with the first ending first, minus the maelstrom. Have the first ending where Jess and Kim, they escape by boat, everything is hunky dory. Then you cut to the ending where Jess is running her usual round through the forest, and sleep well, dear sister, and the fly entity that follows her. And then it would cut to the ending where she wakes up back in the retreat with the original in the presence of the original cultist leader. And then it could have been so epic if the person waking her up was her sister being alive in this timeline, just to add to the mindfuckery. But I'm just with this. I guess I'm just saying that. I mean, I like games that have different endings. It adds to replayability. And for example, in a game like the original Clock Tower, where I think there are 7 different endings in that game. And you know, there are a lot of things you can do in that game in different order, and some scenarios that don't play if you activate other scenarios. Like, it's totally what what some people would call a guide game, in that yes, you can play the whole thing from beginning to end and get the canon ending, but to get all of the other endings, you sometimes have to do such obscure shit that you would need a guide for that. And I'm not against that. I like games that have a lot of different endings, and while I personally am a coward and use a guide or rather, I often use a guide to get them. I like that for people who are more patient and brave than me, that there are these endings that you have to do some totally obscure stuff to get. I mean, I like obscure secrets in games in general, where you are really proud that you discovered all of this on your own. Um, and that goes for secret endings, as well. We can always discuss how you get these endings, because while I am all for endings that are dictated by the dialogue options that you choose along the way, I'm not so much a fan of the endings in this game being partly dictated by what kinds of resources you use, like whether you use a lot of healing or a lot of mind herbs or a lot of spirit herbs. I mean, I was lucky in this here third romp through the final boss. I was lucky that my spirit meter being the same number as my mind meter, that counted for me to get the spirit ending instead of getting the mind ending again, because they were both on 95, which is why I was like, well, let's see what we get. But another point I was trying to make is that while I am all for different endings, I'm all for games that have replayability in the form of different endings. In this case, and I guess in some other games, but in the case of this game, I don't know if the narrative would have been stronger or if the story would have been more coherent if all of the three endings had been stitched together, but in some way, I feel that all three endings might as well have been one long cohesive narrative. Because while I like one ending where they get away, one ending where she is back home but the evil follows her, one ending where she is back in the nightmare, I mean that's classic stuff. From a narrative point of view, I think it makes sense that you first send her home, then see her back in her, you then see her back in her usual habitat, and then you see her wake up back in the retreat, like saying, "Bitch, you're never gonna get out of this." But it is what it is. I'm just saying that the way I just described it, all three endings could, in my opinion, easily fit together, but I'm fine with them being split up, and then you can always discuss what ending is your favorite and what ending you think makes the most sense in context of the game. I mean, Lord knows that in Project Zero, which is the game in the Project Zero series that has the most endings, especially in the European and Japanese exclusive Wii remake, where they added, what was it, 2, 3, 4 in? I don't remember. In the PS2, I think in the PS2 version there were 3 endings. The Xbox version added one ending, counting up to 4, and then the Wii version I think added 3 endings, counting up to 7. You can Google it and double check for yourselves, but it's around that number, and fans can, especially since it's the most popular in the series, fans can argue to hell and back what ending they like the most, what ending they think makes the most sense. Like, is it? And I'm being a bit spoilery here, but even I don't exactly remember the endings scene by scene. So I'm just going, I'm just throwing words out now. There's one. Do you like the ending where the sisters get home scot-free? Do you prefer the ending where they escape the village, but one of the sisters has lost her sight because she stared down into the hellish abyss? Do you like the ending where that is one of the Wii exclusive endings? Do you like the ending where they beat the baddies, but then they stay in the village, and the older sister is in this kind of comatose state, while the younger sister is there's something demonic about her. She is sitting with her sister's head attached to her body, mind you, in her lap, and almost treating her sister like a doll by giving her lipstick, and the whole scene has a very cold vibe to it. Do you prefer that ending? And again, I don't remember all the other ones, but just an example that in some of these kinds of horror games, there is always the ending where the main characters get off scot-free. One ending where they escape, but with a catch, and an ending where they are still in the thick of it and can't seem to escape this never-ending nightmare. And true to tradition, I guess this game had that as well, which I like. And aside from the random vortex in the first ending, I actually liked all three endings in this game. I think personally, I really liked the third ending where she wakes up back at the retreat, but I almost think I prefer the second ending where she is back home, but is still being stalked by the fly entity, because that kind of gives because the whole thing, the whole story started with her out and running and looking down into the river where she saw a hallucination of her drowned sister's body. So, and you know what they say, all great stories end where they started. So it would bring the whole story full circle if she got back home, looked out at the river, and said, "Rest in peace, dear sister," like, so that we kind of give closure to that whole debacle. And then we see her run off, and the fly thing has followed her, because that's another thing. The final projector movie that we found was of the original founder's voice, where he said, "I have made one final discovery. Gloom is not just on this island. It's everywhere in the whole world. You can't fight it. You can't escape it." So her being back on the mainland, back home in the second ending, and thinking she is scot-free, but then we see the fly entity stalk her. Not only because the fly entity that attacked her right after the cultist leader boss fight, and forced her to take another path back to the retreat, remember when that happened, and I said, oh right, this thing is still stalking her, because the fly thing, the fly entity never got a closure, which I thought was especially important, because when we initially encountered it the first time in the game, I thought it was just another enemy, and because one of our weapons stated that this weapon is especially strong against swarms, and the only swarm enemy you meet in the game is this entity, barring a couple of examples early game where they are just regular swarms, but mostly it's when you encounter this thing. And you also quickly learn that it's not a regular enemy. It's a thing that stalks you throughout the game at various points. Especially seeing as there are these totems, these cloth totems that actively state that the fly entity can't, the swarm entity can't follow you past these. So just like Nemesis in Resident Evil, this fly entity is clearly important to the story, especially seeing how we hear Angie's disembodied voice whenever it is nearby. Angie's voice that haunts Jess. But aside from that that final time we see it in the game itself, where again I was like, oh right, this thing, we still don't really get any closure on it. It's not like, after we beat the final boss, and then maybe we meet it again and have to fight it one final time, where maybe this time we burn it up or something like that to vanquish it for good. We don't get any closure on it, at least not in the traditional sense. So the second ending works fine. It works in that the story comes full circle, and the fly entity, while it doesn't get any closure, we see that it is still alive, which again isn't a closure, but it's still it means that the story hasn't forgotten about it, which I appreciate. I mean, I at least I can accept an open ending that acknowledges some of the unsolved plot threads, as long as the story doesn't give me reason to believe that it has forgotten about the unsolved plot threads, because that's one thing I hate about any story, is when unsolved plot threads are completely forgotten about. But I'm fine. I am more accepting of unsolved plot threads that are still acknowledged to be there.
Hey bro.
Hey.
Hvad siger du til, vi bestiller bøger?
Det er fint.
Jeg tænker, vi tager vores gamle, fordi jeg tænkte overvejede den.
So sorry for that little pause there. So for all the reasons I just stated, I think that the second ending makes the most sense in getting the story full circle, acknowledging that the fly entity is still an active party, still stalking the main character. And horror games and horror movies, they never really end definitively. They always have this open ending, like I stated before, with evil never truly dies. Like, something is always still out there, which I think which I think is perfectly shown in the second ending. So for all those reasons, the second ending, I guess, makes the most sense to me, fits the narrative best, and feels most like an actual ending. Also because, you know, the whole thing where the camera pans up into the sky, which is a classic way to end something. But that was all for this session. We got a couple of trophies, like I set out to do, including all the other endings. So you could say that while last night's session was, you know, that was when we beat the game for the first time and got the first ending. This session was where we got a couple more trophies and we ended the story for good, getting all of the endings. So next time I play the game, I'm gonna, you know, get the rest of the trophies. I'm gonna get the alchemist trophy. I'm gonna try to get the files trophy. I may need to use a guide for that, because I have no freaking idea where the ones I apparently missed are. And then I have to play the game 2 more times, one on hard mode, one where I speedrun the game, and also attempt to do a pacifist run. So at least 2 more playthroughs, which again, like I said, it shouldn't take that long. My first playthrough was around 9 hours and 30 minutes, and the next playthrough should be shorter than that, and the next again should be even shorter if we go by logic, because every time you replay a game, you get faster and faster at it. So, but that's the plan. So thank you so much for sticking with me. I know I did a lot of aimless wandering about as I scoured the previous areas in hopes that I would find something I had missed, which I did. No file. I got one file, and then there was one area I hadn't visited before, but nothing too exciting aside from that. But thanks for sticking with me. Thanks for watching. Hope I'll see you next time, and remember, we are all heroes.
Så en grund til, at jeg besluttede mig til at blive set ud over, at jeg havde den der lille trang.